Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the TB&J podcast. Across from me, Troy Brittingham.
Your name is Jeff.
And we got D here with us today.
I'm back in the saddle again.
We're here to wrap up The Boys Season 3 premiere with Episode 2, The Only Man in the Sky, and Episode 3, Barbary Coast. Hit it! I said hit it for dramatic effect, and then I hit it.
You can tell yourself what to do.
He'll show you.
Guys, Season 3's opening of The Boys is fucking insane. And I know we discussed it briefly. You weren't here, Troy, because you're a fucking loser who has a life and things to do.
I don't even know what The Boys is.
But they went balls to the wall so hard.
Is it like a wholesome
the Catholic Church?
Oh dear.
I was gonna say, is it like some wholesome show about like some young children like living their
Nope.
adolescent years?
No. So, shut up, Troy. Episode 2 is out fucking standing, and it ends with Homelander just being a fucking unapologetic.
I was 100%. I think we were all thumbs up for episode 1, but do we want to do?
Yeah. Thumbs up, thumbs down for 2 and 3. Troy?
Thumbs up on both.
Thumbs up on both?
I guess I'm a thumbs up on 2. I want to be a thumbs up on 2. I enjoyed it, but like I remember just liking 3 more, so it's definitely like a thumb is there's 2 thumbs up.
I have the problem of watching all 3 back to back to back without anybody around
together.
So yeah, I'm just like I've been enjoying The Boys.
I saw episode 1. No, well, I saw that live with you guys, right?
Yeah,
like I saw that.
We saw one when it dropped, and then we immediately recorded the podcast.
And that's the only time I saw that. But it was fresh. And then on the way home, I kind of watched like 2 and 3, and like intermittently between the next 2 days, and it's all kind of a blur. But yeah, so I
can go through the summary if you'd like.
Yeah, let's go.
Sure.
Let's do it.
While the boys investigate Soldier Boy's death, Huey visits Red River, an orphanage for superpowered children, and copies its records. Frenchie and Kimiko confront Crimson Countess, Soldier Boy's widow, at Vaughtland. Fucking hilarious scene, by the way. But the Countess escapes, killing a Homelander mascot in the process, and Kimiko is real broken up about that. Butcher confronts Soldier Boy's former sidekick
Gunpowder,
but is
injured.
Wait,
is this when they blow up the Homelander guy?
Yep.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, and they basically turned him into Mom Spaghetti.
They did. And then
I
Butcher...
love the human salsa that everyone gets started doing in the show.
Oh God, yeah.
I believe it was said somewhere that like her power is actually to just turn people inside out. Like her blast that she sends out, like just. So I'm wondering if she is actually pretty powerful enough to take on Homelander. Like what happens when he gets hit with that? And the same thing I'm thinking of with Nadia.
Yes. So I'm very curious to see where all these soups go as far as like their powers against Homelander. But then there's always this voice in the back of my head that's like, what makes you think they're against Homelander? What makes you think they would fight Homelander at all? Probably on his side, pieces of shit. Except Starlight. She seems to be the only one who like hates Homelander. And I guess her new boyfriend, Supersonic. So Butcher goes to confront...
That guy's going to die horribly.
Oh, I hope so.
No, we'll be fine. He'll be okay.
Oh no, I'm sure it's. Oh, he's so wholesome and standing by her. He's gonna get. He's gonna get. He's gonna get chunky salsa real bad.
It reminds me of the deaf superhero that Homelander just like clapped on the sides of the head and just murdered him.
Oh, that's in full effect. This entire
so Butcher goes to confront Gunpowder and it doesn't go very well. And then Gunpowder like is outside in the parking lot waiting for him, and they get into a little bit of a gunfight. And Gunpowder very easily takes Homelander down.
Is this when we see the Second Amendment guy, Ammo or Gunpowder?
Gunpowder.
So we see his whole speech about the Second Amendment and like if Democrat, if the guy. So the other subplot that's kind of going on here is that I forget his name, but he was in Deadwood and Supernatural, and he's a Kripke guy, but he's the Southern
Jensen Ackles?
No, but he's another one.
Gotcha.
He's running for president.
Right. Bob something.
Yeah.
Dakota Bob.
Dakota Bob is what he says, and this is the first reference to that. Now, he is president in the Boys comic for a bit. They're really ramping this whole thing up in terms of like someone's going to be placed in presidency, and I'm wondering how this is going to go between like Nadia, him, and Homelander. Honestly, because I think he's clearly making a by the episode 3, he's clearly reminisce.
This is a fictional. This is a fictional show, and I got drive recoiled. Idea
it's
of that.
just like dried up. I dried right up when I heard that. No,
it went inside of me.
yeah. Okay. So what? There's where were we at when
So back to so Butcher gets his butt kicked basically by Gunpowder, and he ends up running away. And Butcher calls Huey while he's like cleaning his wounds, and he's like, "You were right. We need to do this the right way. We need to stop using violence. I can't do it." And then Huey's like, "Vicky's a soup. She's the head popper. You were right. We need to do this the hard way. We need to kill people and do this like just be really gross about it and all this stuff." And fucking Butcher's like, "What? I was calling you to say you're right, but it turns out I'm right. Ah!" And just hearing that Newman is a soup just completely changes his mind. And then Butcher has a rematch with Gunpowder. He's like waiting for him in the parking lot. And Gunpowder's like, "You again." He just shoots him. And then Butcher just gets up, and you see the bullets didn't even pierce him. And he just beats the shit out of Gunpowder. And then Gunpowder tells him, like, "No, you don't understand. Soldier Boy didn't die necessarily. He disappeared in Nicaragua. We were doing a mission for the CIA led by Grace Mallory, and that's all I know, I swear." And then Butcher just keeps beating him, and he's like, "I told you all I know," and he was like, "I know, but it doesn't forgive what you are." And then he fucking beats his head in. Yep, sure. He beats his head in, and then he's got laser eyes, and he just lasers Gunpowder's head in half, as well as his
this is one of the few
Dodge Charger.
times where I'm like, yeah.
You killed that son of a bitch.
And didn't he taunt him with like a bunch of sidekick?
He kept implying that Soldier Boy would regularly just like rape or diddle Gunpowder. And then after learning that
and that's
Mallory,
even funnier because he's kind of like a Punisher
it
clone,
is
more
funny.
than like a Robin or anything.
And then after learning that
Bucky.
After learning that Mallory was the one in charge of the CIA operation where Soldier Boy disappeared, he goes down to visit Mallory at the house where she's babysitting / raising the kid. And MM is with him because MM rejoins the boys after learning about Soldier Boy. And
this is now
yourself.
This is now a proper season of The Boys now.
Yeah, and Huey's back because he's tired of everything being a joke. Because
it's
Newman,
starting to feel
like
they're coming together.
He was tired of Newman like being a soup, and he was like, "I had no idea."
Hey, questions. Okay, so
Answers.
when did we see Homelander meet up with him? The first episode, right? The end of the first episode, Homelander stops at Butcher's place.
At Butcher's house, yeah, and they have that
So
little
here's
conversation.
a big question for you: did that fucking happen? Because he is clearly hallucinating shit. Now, I don't know if it's only post taking it, and he hadn't taken it at that point.
He is?
But, like, he disappears. Like, granted, Homelander can do that shit, hypothetically, with his super speed and flying. But he does, like, disappear in a glance. And it's like he is hallucinating other shit, like, of Homelander talking to him from the TV.
That was a dream.
No, I think he was, like, hallucinating.
No, because he wakes up to the phone going off, and it was the boy calling him. And he said, "You can call me." I said, "You can call me after 8," and it's 8:03, and I called you. And then they have that conversation. He's like, "Have you watched my video yet?" And then he's like, "No, I haven't." And they have this little like Skype conversation between him and the kid. What's the kid's name again?
I don't remember.
Homelander 2.
Yep, sure. But yeah, it's the
sequel.
The kid. But I don't think he's hallucinating.
The search for more money.
But that is very fascinating because I was just actually rewatching like a season 2 recap, and in the season 2 first episode, when the first head pops and they're all freaking out in the van, they're like, "Who could have done this? What's going on?" There's a hard cut to Victoria Newman giving a press conference like immediately after, and they're like, "Oh, they really just like hung a lamp on it," and it was kind of just waiting for us to put the pieces together. So maybe fucking Butcher is hallucinating Homelander. Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe,
it could still very much be that, even if the dream wasn't
Maybe the series ends with fucking Butcher waking up and being like, Rosebud. You know? Who fucking knows? No, but they go to Mallory's house and they're asking her about Soldier Boy, and she says she was doing a covert op in Nicaragua where they were selling cocaine to the States, primarily black neighborhoods, which I believe actually happened.
Yeah, this is
very much.
This is like.
This is
Reagan.
This is almost not commentary. This is almost.
Well,
just...
no, he very much so. Like they throw it like, oh yeah, I did this coke thing with superheroes, and then like, Mother's Milk is like,
Did you tell me
what about that other stuff? Does that mean that's true too? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, what about that? And he like tells them like they pushed all this heroin into these areas.
All the
it's like, oh,
drugs.
So they're just blatantly dropping it. But way to go, Crib Cage is still educating the populace.
Absolutely,
little by little.
And all that shit happens, and she reveals that Edgar, who was an associate for Vought at the time, had the idea of putting the Supes in the military. And he was like, here's Soldier Boy and Payback, and everybody's going to be down here, and they're going to be working with you, and it's going to be great. And Mallory was like, no, it's not. And Edgar was like, I don't care. Go fuck yourself.
Troy, you weren't here for the last episode. I don't know if you listened, but I
did not.
Good. And I want you to. It's a great episode, and I don't want you to hear it. But you can find listeners.
I actually tried to click
Shut
on it.
Shut up. I'm making a point.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, no, Payback is clearly the Avengers, right? Like they pay back as they avenge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like, but it's not like the name took like Payback. I was like, that's such a dumb name. Then I'm like, oh, they're avenging, motherfucker. Mm-hmm. Like it's it's just so dumbed down. Like and it's like so The Boys,
mm-hmm.
like to all these superhero things. But yeah, so we got like a Wasp / Ant-Man type character, a Swatto who gets RPG'd. During this, we have Black Noir, who's
was this? Do you think this was just to get rid of all the Swatto conspiracy theories?
Maybe. Yeah, I think that's a good.
They're just like nuke him from low orbit.
Yeah. But that was like the RPG to him, just like flying like a dummy.
That was hilarious.
So funny. I'm out here. Just
and Gunpowder was on that like fucking like 50 caliber turret, just mowing down
everything.
Good guys and bad guys.
And
just
so was
care.
Crimson Countess or whatever. Just blows away. Just like those were our men.
Yeah, those were my men, and she's just like, oh.
She's just like lost, and Soldier Boy is just beating people's asses. I don't know what he's doing, but he's pretty powerful. And then it gets weird because like
he's literally Captain America, right? Except his shield is a diamond instead of a circle.
Yeah, I mean,
his mask is even the same.
His original shield is much more shaped like that anyway. Before he got the round one, but the
excuse me.
Oh my God! Stop the podcast for that.
A little sneezy.
Okay, so he but yeah, he has like he's pretty strong. He seems like he's punching people. Arguably, into space. I don't know. They may seem like they're coming down, so maybe not as strong as Homelander, but they've also shown.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
They've also shown that he is in the previews gonna demonstrate energy projection of some sort.
Oh shit! Okay. Really?
They have. So like, I don't know what they're saying happened, but like, it's pretty fishy how they come back. They're like, they took him, he's gone, and they've been mentioning this Red River Black Ops thing.
Yeah,
so
it literally feels like Bucky Barnes in that.
No, that's exactly what they're doing.
That's what's happening. Yeah.
Right, because Crimson Countess comes over to Mallory and says the Russians killed him.
I'm wondering if he's
weapon.
Literally just that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna be like he's the Russian agent, the guy that their Captain America is just a Russian agent the entire time, like literally doing it. I guess.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Bucky, but with no brainwashing, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I think he was just like, the Russians offered me more money, so I just went to Russia because fuck America. I don't care. But it's so fucking fishy how Crimson Countess runs up to Mallory and says the Russians killed him with a super weapon. They took his body, and there they go in that conveniently placed chopper.
It's so weird. It's definitely fishy, and it's definitely
super fucking weird.
But like, that like that isn't what happened. They didn't kill him with some weapon. So that's the question: is like what really happened here? How did it go down? Because like maybe they do him with a weapon. He gets knocked out. They take him, and then they brainwash him or something like that. Or
it's possible.
But I mean, the boys twist, I think you're probably right. They're probably just like, offering him money or something.
Yeah, we all know from like all the marketing material beforehand, Soldier Boy's alive. Yeah. He is somewhere, and he is up to no good.
But we also see him kind of being awoken like like Captain America from or really like Winter Soldier from some kind of incubation with a beard and stuff. So it seems to be some kind of combination of the two, where it's like, how long is he be in hibernation? Now, those characters are already mimics of one another. Like Winter Soldier and Captain America are already supposed to have all these parallels. That's Bucky anyway, and like, so it's you mix the two, and you're
he
like,
wakes up
all
with
right.
a red arm.
Well, right, and I'm wondering kind of where
This is my
how they're going to
communism
play
arm.
this, because the boys tends to humanize their villains as well. So it's doubtful that, except for Stormfront, who's a fucking whore. But they did initially kind of make her somewhat sympathetic.
They did until we realized that she was a literal Nazi.
Yeah. So. Yeah, like this is. I'm wondering if they're going to play him as like a victim of all this in the end, or was it his own doing? Like, or did he just buy into it? So like, they get to go a lot of ways with this. He's obviously an asshole, but like, to what end, right?
Right.
Like and then the whole Black Noir background of like
the Black Noir twist, because you actually read some of the comics.
I
years
just
ago.
know kind of how it goes in the comics, so. I just have a reason to believe, and
I did a lot of reading on the boys' wiki when the show came out, but apparently
we're not gonna. I don't know.
Are we?
Do you want us? I mean, I feel like we've talked about it probably on other ones, or maybe
We definitely
not.
have dropped it.
No,
We have.
Do you know what happened?
I know what happened.
Okay.
If you know, then we've definitely talked about it because you don't. Anyway,
If you want to know, look it up.
yeah, this is
I
also,
mean, we could talk about it if it's.
We could just give a spoiler
get
warning.
off this. Spoiler
yeah, sure.
warning
Skip
from the
ahead another
comics.
like 2 minutes. So Black Noir in the comics is a clone of Homelander, and Stan Edgar's master plan is to
Clone-lander.
keep Homelander in line because in the comics Homelander cares a lot more about his public image, and he was like, well, if you step out, I can always replace you physically, and the audience won't ever know. So stay a good boy, or I'm going to replace you. And then in the show, he's very much just like a silent ninja, and it's like, oh, just like the comics. And then we see in this episode, the mask is gone. He's like, oh no, he's a black dude, and that's definitely not Homelander.
and his abilities were shown to be like fast healing too, right?
Something like that.
Didn't
I
he
think.
have fast healing like what's her face?
I think he might have.
Right? No, that had to be it. Like
Yeah, because did he get like a whole chunk of his face blown off in season 2?
No, this is what we saw. We saw him get his face blown off in this episode. We saw
too.
that happen because he didn't want to wear the mask, and he was like, and Edgar's talking about how they're not ready for a black man superhero, and this is distinctly a reference to Black Panther, as Black Panther was released in China, I want to say, or other Indian.
Right.
I'm not.
I don't know
Saying where it was. I don't know where it was. But it was other countries that were less friendly to having a black theme, led movie. They had the Black Panther thing, which has Chadwick Boseman's face with the armor on, and in those countries he had the entire helmet on.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay. So this was kind of reference to that, but he gets blown pretty badly, which indicates that he doesn't have some kind of distinctive healing factor at this point, at this juncture.
Right, like you might get it later.
And yeah, like because he also becomes seemingly his voice is gone at this point. So this does seem like a completely different character, beyond the fact that he's a black man. But like, I don't know if they're. It does make sense to kind of. They can still always do it. Black Noir is a completely head to toe character that you can always flip out at any given
He's completely
point.
interchangeable throughout the years.
So it could even be more. They could tell a whole story for this in this season, and then have him die, and then have a new Black Noir come out, and you don't know who it is, and you're like, and then and then they could do the other story. So you don't know, but,
right?
But this is an interesting, I think, take to add another character into this. But what does this? So that's the whole backstory with the payback and history, and then they
Pretty much, yeah.
They flash back, and he kind of what is. Where do we go from there? What is the reaction from them to her? To Mallory?
So the butcher basically just calls Mallory out, and he was like, so if you had come forward with all of this information before any of this started, we could have been leaps ahead on this Homelander weapon or finding Soldier Boy years ago. Instead, Becca's dead, and now we're raising Ryan, and I will never fucking forgive you because he's blaming her for Becca's death. And then she's just like, I lied. You're not a better man than your father. You are your father. Fuck you, butcher. And then as Butcher's leaving, Ryan like tries to stop him, and Butcher just wants Ryan away.
Now, during this whole scene, this is where he has to go to the bathroom, though, right? Like,
Yeah. This happens in the middle of
right
so
before
he's like-
before the big battle.
So he is really messed up. His stomach is...
He's having some nasty side
Yeah.
effects from the V24.
Actually, I think he's like mid-threat to her, and he has to leave.
Yeah. Something like that. But yeah, he goes to the bathroom and he's just like, his eyes just keep like glowing up and he's like demanding them to stop. And then on his way out of the bathroom, Ryan is like, you want a cracker? And they have a moment. And then Ryan's like, are you sure you're okay? I can hear your heart racing and your blood smells funny. And it's like, all right, so that's weird for a kid to say, but also Butcher's having some real fucked up side effects from this V24, which, oh gosh, this could be real fucking bad. Or maybe it's like not terrible, but it definitely puts you on your ass for a few days, so use it very sparingly. Or maybe this fucking kills him, and season 4 doesn't have Butcher. Who knows, man? It could go anyway, because they clearly don't give a shit about the comics. They're using the comics as a source and not a direct, like, line-for-line translation. So it'd be very interesting to see where they go with this. He does at the end of the 3rd episode, he pukes green all over Huey. And then Huey's like, what the fuck?
Is that how the episode ends?
No, there's still more
right.
of
There's
that.
still more. That was
Yeah, with Newman and Edgar.
always.
It would have been a
good.
great end to the to the podcast, to the episode.
But that wraps up the whole Butcher and Mallory shit going on. But then also on the other side with the Soups, Homelander is now co-captain with Starlight. They're telling Starlight she can pick who joins the Seven. So she picks the Muslim hero from the UK and
Silver Kincaid?
Silver Kincaid and Moonshade, who's this black lady. And she has actual reasons for it. And the fucking marketing execs are like, actually...
I like the thing that Silver Kincaid, they're like, has the most amount of saves of human life out of all of them. And they're just like, yeah, but...
Yeah, but I mean, Vought is just a marketing company. They're
Right.
not actually in the superhero game. They just want to market your heroes and sell you tickets to Vaughtland and the TV shows and the movies. They don't give a shit about any of it. But they want Supersonic in there because he's Starlight's old flame and he's polling really well with girls 11 to 14.
Yeah, but there. I bet he is. He has like the stupid ass like NSYNC song. And
Yeah.
it's just like he's clearly like a
Kick
Justin
off your
Timberlake.
Uggs and curl up next to me in my Honda
They
Accord.
clearly run the whole. This is the whole Britney Spears thing that they get to. I think more in the next episode, but like she is very much so like Mickey Mouse Club. This is Mickey Mouse Club for them.
Yes.
Yep.
And they are this returning thing. And how that kind of comes in with him backing her up and kind of sticking with her is interesting because like they're actually the love triangle is actually being set up in some sense like
Yeah.
with they were trying to bring in Starlight as a boyfriend and like and we're gonna bring our new boyfriend into the or our old boyfriend into the Seven, and that was like the line and the hook, but like that's actually potentially to be a thing.
Right, because Huey
You know.
is becoming more and more like aggressive, and because he feels like he's been a big joke and he wants to actually do something, and he's kind of being a little argumentative with Starlight, and then she has her ex-boyfriend who's like actually being supportive and with her, and I'm just like, are they really setting this up for her to leave Huey for Supersonic? Because that'd be weird. But also, they're probably setting it up for Homelander to just murder Supersonic.
Oh, well, no, he's like I said, he's gonna be fine. I think this guy's probably gonna kill Homelander. Really?
Oh, you think so?
realistically, yeah, I think he's.
What
yeah.
are his powers again?
I think he can like make a loud sound or something, right? Because he's Sonic Boom.
He's fast.
He's fast. Okay, yeah, he's fast. He's fast.
And his suit looks exactly like Captain America's. It's just a different color scheme.
Yeah, and
He's
they
even
wouldn't.
got the star on his chest.
Yeah, and they wouldn't kill Captain America.
No, they wouldn't kill Captain America like that. No, they would just
He'll be
have
fine.
him be old to death.
He'll be okay.
Yeah, sure. But it turns out none of what Starlight wanted is actually going to happen because while Edgar told her she has complete power, Homelander's like, I don't give a fuck. What are you going to do to me? And she was like, well, I still have that video of the plane. And Homelander has this amazing blood-curdling speech where he's just like, yeah, release it. Because then I'll have nothing left to lose. And I'll be a man with nothing to lose. And then he goes through this thought-out plan of just destroying the entire country and wiping New York off the map just because he can. And then he was like, so do it. I fucking dare you. He's just like, I fucking dare you. Do it. And he calls Starlight's bluff. She's not going to do it. So he's just like, great. So Supersonic is in the 7 and also the Deep. He's back.
Oh, so deep. Okay, so what episode?
It's kind of just bleeding in.
Is
one
this?
another.
Are we bleeding all this in? Or I thought you moved it to. They don't. Oh, this is when they introduced it to Starlight, right?
Yes.
They say, oh, the Deep is going to be the other one.
Yeah.
And this is all when Homelander is still kind of under wraps, and he's just trying to like passive aggressively, influence it by bringing out Starlight's, new age costume dancers and like trying to diminish her in every sense of it, trying to bring her, a sexual predator back into the team. And the Deep is just so fucking ridiculous. And
his wife is fucking psychotic.
well,
too.
yeah, I mean, I think she, as we find out, because I think she's probably just a little upset about it. She's a little upset, a little jealous. I mean, I think she's right with her. Also,
well, look, because at the
he's
end
cheating
when
on her. He's
at the
cheating on
end
her.
when
I mean, what do you mean?
Homelander makes
This is the end of
Deep
this
his
episode
friend.
or the next one, though?
The last episode.
Yeah, so let's jump into the third, I guess. Is that the end of this episode? The
Second
one?
episode just ends with Homelander's meltdown during his birthday. That's kind of the only thing we didn't touch on.
Yeah, because then she gets turned into Mom Spaghetti. The jumper, he's gonna he's gonna do his birthday thing.
Yeah,
And
he was like,
birthday
your birthday.
save, and he's like, you're gonna.
He was
jump
like
over the other-
half-assedly
and then-
trying to save her.
It's
And then
it's
we
actually
find
like
out-
it's actually like a direct like 1-for-1 recreation in the opposite way of like a Superman story.
Yeah.
Where he like basically talks somebody off the ledge, and she's just like, if I jump, you'll catch me or whatever, and he's just like, no, and he tries to like talk it out, and this is the opposite where he's just like, if you jump, I'll just catch you, and like it's like almost the lines reversed.
Yep.
And then afterwards he's just like, no, go for it.
And then the
Jump.
news breaks that Stormfront has killed herself. She apparently bit through her own tongue and bled out, which that's impressive, and that takes dedication. I'll give her that. But she commits suicide and ends it, and the news breaks on this giant screen behind Homelander.
And his first reply is, he's like, she wouldn't do this on my birthday.
Right. It's still self-centered. It's
Yeah.
still all about him.
Is this when he gives the Jesus speech, or is that later?
See, this is the only man in the sky.
The only
Because
the
she
whole
says, "Oh
thing.
God," and he's like, "No God, I am the only man in the sky."
Yeah, that's pretty dark, and just the whole connection, and I just hope more people are just learning, like every Crip Kid, like just crumbs. Here you are, crumbs. Like, December 25th is a made up date. Okay, just like Homelander. Like it is like a perfect parallel, and it just makes like every time. This is what's becoming, for me at the very least, like already like a big anachronism of like any book that I'm reading. Like teaching these books, and like they'll reference like something that's ironic because of Jesus Christ or something like that, where it's just like, someone's moving a Christmas tree and they're like, Jesus Christ, like, would you move it for Christ's sake? And you're like, okay, like, you're clearly you're not embodying the holiday here, like, and there, but it's like, so fucking what? Like, like, clearly it's all a fucking facade. So, like, we're so past that, but they were already past it, like, years ago, and it's like, it was, but then they were so much more. I don't know what's worse. Was it worse when people would like follow through on it, or is it worse now where people just go through the fucking motions and they don't care if you don't do it? They won't like be like, you're not going to church on Sunday, but like they won't like but they'll suddenly do it random. Like I don't know what's worse.
To be clear, I just want
at
to
least if you're like going through all the motions, you have something to stand on when you want to be like, well, no to this or that,
right?
And like you're at least going through all of it. You're not just picking and choosing. Like I think that's like part of it.
I just want to be clear
that
the three of us and also Chris, we all go to church every Sunday.
Yeah, just to heckle.
Yeah, just to
We're like the people that go out that stand outside of Planned Parenthood with signs.
You're just sitting there. Oh God, I drive past those people every day. But you're just like in the stands, just like boo. Boo!
Just like listen to the gospel, like, and then Satan came. Boo!
Oh, Satan, we don't like that guy.
Boo Satan. Sorry about
Boo
that.
Satan. I'm used to it from you at this point. So episode 2 ends with Homelander's birthday, and he's been kind of brought into line by Edgar. He's like, no. Listen to Starlight. She's going to do her thing. You're not going to degrade her on your birthday speech. Fuck off. And he kind of walks away. And then this shit happens with Stormfront, and Stormfront dies. And and then he turns around to the girl, and he was like, jump. And she's like, I don't want to anymore. And he was like, jump or I'm going to fucking make you jump. And then she fucking splatters on the ground. And everyone's surprised. And then his birthday speech shows up on live TV. And he says that he's tired of apologizing for and being persecuted for his power. And he's not just like the rest of us. He is better. He is a real hero. And all this stuff. And while he's delivering that speech, we see MM's wife's new husband like watching and smiling. And he's really getting into it. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, we got a MAGA guy.
So the key line in this one is... if they have me under their thumb,
if they can control me, they can control you.
They can control you. And this is like the resonating message with people that I think Kripke is really knocking onto. And then he goes, and from that standpoint, he goes into, so I'm just like you, and only I can save you. And this is like the RNC speach from 2016, and just like it's just so spot on, and you're just like, I hope you see this, like, you know, Super Saiyan like hair nonsense speech, like, is all the same thing. It's just this just pure narcissism. Like the greatness of Homelander is just this idea that, like, what's so crazy is that the books, I think, do paint Homelander as this narcissist, right? Like this complete and total pure, but like that was such a more hyperbolic exaggeration of like anything that existed when it came out, and now it's like it's made true.
It's like the perfect
it's
time
like
for him.
Fucking or like what okay, like how did, like, it's stranger than fiction type of thing, like where it's just like you can't, I guess you can write this stuff.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, now you look at him and you're like, well, like they kind of toned down, really.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Anyway, but following this rant, his approval ratings among rural white men skyrocketed, right?
Weird.
And apparently his approval rating with urban people went down a little bit.
Weird.
But his rating as part of the Starlight Homelander co-captain thing are up at 98%. Like, nothing beats the two of them together, apparently. So Homelander is thrilled. And by the way, while Ashley is delivering this news, he's just buck-ass naked. And then she tells him all this good news, and then he just gets an erection. And he's just like, don't worry, this isn't about you. Just keep going. And I was like, that's
So
hilarious.
ridiculous.
The only thing that gets him hard is just hearing how good he is, I guess. And
It's
then
so true. It's exactly,
apparently.
yeah.
And then so Homelander's like super happy because they're letting him do things again. They're letting him just like take over because now they're afraid to touch him. So he pressures.
I love how, what's her name, Ashley comes in, and like she gets off at, like, she is so sycophantic. Like she's like I want, like, she's terrified of this guy, but she's like, absolutely, I want to be here to deliver the news. Like, this is how she survives. Like, she has to like eat, like to give him that 98th percentile is like survival for her.
Yep. And then so Homelander kind of takes control over the American Hero TV show where they're selecting the members of the Seven, and he picks Supersonic and the Deep. And then he announces spontaneously that he and Annie are in love, and they're in a relationship.
Are we still in episode 2?
No, 3.
Okay.
The episode 2 ended with the birthday speech.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
And then he announces that he and
I don't
Annie are in a
believe you.
relationship. # Homelight, right, guys? # Homelight.
But isn't that the end of this episode?
No,
# Homelight?
that's not the end of the episode.
Oh.
No,
okay.
actually, Homelight is, because it shows her ball fist up like at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, you skipped over all of, like, her flashback. Like,
I'm just going through the list as it's written.
fair enough.
We can go back and talk about it.
Yeah, it doesn't. If you're listening to this podcast, you've seen the episode.
Well, yeah.
We can jump around a bit.
Well,
it's fine.
yeah, I mean, no, but I mean, like, you want to kind of, yeah, I mean, we can play the, I don't want to do it in order, but, like, we should at least have the storyline in order. So, like,
Yes.
her storyline.
I'll take better notes next time.
No, I'm just saying, like, she is did we start with the flashback to her
Yes,
as a kid?
the episode
So, like,
started with her as a kid and her mother being a fucking narcissistic
and they
asshole.
absolutely have her playing Britney Spears, "Hit Me Baby One More Time,"
Mhm.
and she's clearly having like a spleen erupt or something. And she's
Yeah.
like, "My side, it's killing me."
She's in a immense amount of pain, and her mother's like, "Pain is weakness leaving the body. Now get the fuck out there." And then she does, and she balls up her fist as like a way of like redirecting the pain or something.
And she's
It's
clearly internalized that as a character.
yes. I feel for Annie January so bad. She is such a fucking. She's very much in the wrong place, and oh god, she's
You said the actress's name, right? Or is that her actual
the
name?
character is Annie January.
Oh,
The actress is Erin Moriarty.
interesting.
Moriarty, she's a descendant of Sherlock's nemesis.
James, yes.
Yes, James Moriarty. I've always found that funny. So she was clearly a terrible like pageant kid.
She?
Mom was super overbearing and terrible, but it planned out, I guess, because now she's in the 7.
Yeah,
See?
in the best place she could be, in the 7.
Yeah, well. So we got Supersonic and the Deep joining the 7, and it's
And he has to go through a bit of a trial to get there on his own.
Well, so yes, we see the whole Deep banging episode his wife, and then
oh
like
yeah,
him,
he's
him
banging
having
his wife in his old
having
bed.
the visual affair with the octopus.
Which is perfect, Deep.
Theodore was his name?
Timothy.
Timothy. And that was like pretty classic, Deep. It was a deep cut. And it was that was all fun and games, and then he takes he keeps taunting him, and it becomes this whole like eat Timothy. I like the
That's
scene
the
and
ambiguity.
it's messed up what they're going for. I just don't believe that you can eat an octopus in such a manner.
In one bite.
Like, are you saying that Deep has the superhuman ability to just eat the like? I don't think it like especially the way it went down. Like, it just seemed like it would.
I agree with you.
It was too Disney. Like, that's how a squid would go into your mouth. Like I love, but it's. I guess they this is a hard thing to render and to do it. All the jokes you want to do because you want to be like, he's praying, which is eat the fucking octopus in the text.
Yeah, his wife texts him, "Eat the fucking octopus," and it's just like, "Well, whose side are you on, Mrs. the Deep?"
I do think that like that's a mixture of like, for one thing, if she has any inclination about what's going on. Let's be serious. He fucking said like, "Yeah, wrap your tentacles around me," like to her, like during the sex. So I'm pretty confident that she's fine. The other thing is like, Homelander's clearly going to murder them. Like, if he doesn't fucking eat the fish, so she's like, eat the octopus. So there's two sides to that, and I like the ambiguity to that end, and I'm intrigued that they brought this character back with us. So it's because Deep is the what of superheroes, the
Aquaman?
No,
he's the comic relief.
no the who was the wife in King of Queens?
Oh shit! What was her name?
I don't
Because
know.
he has his Lifetime movie that he's his Vought Lifetime
Right,
version.
because she does the anti-Scientology
and I
stuff
think
now.
she says at one point, they're gonna have Alyssa Milano and who dated Marilyn Manson.
Leia Remini.
Leia Remini was
She's the
Leia
lady.
Remini of superheroes or something like that.
Yep.
And then they said they're going to book him with a tour of with Alyssa Milano and who dated
The other girl from Charmed. I can't remember her name.
and that's the thing.
And
is,
he
like,
says, "Oh, I love Charmed."
I love Charm when clearly the connection was that they've both been the victims of like sexual predation and so,
and there was also
assault.
like in that
And
Lifetime
he's
movie.
just like, I
He's so
love
dumb.
Charmed.
He's so dumb.
In that Lifetime movie he was doing, it was clearly a play on the fucking that HBO documentary that came out recently, the
that
Nexus documentary, because he was like, "You put your initials on my genitals," and that's something they did in the Nexus cult.
That's hot. That's
Yep,
hot.
yep.
That's hot.
And then there was
Should
there
we do
was
that for the pod?
Just the
my
logo?
initials on-
TB&J right
Just-
on the testes.
Let's brand the logo on our
Let's
testes.
brand the
We'll
logo.
do a boys event.
I see. Yes.
Yeah, it will
Like
get the
how-
visual like sizzle of the
No,
brand.
like how all the actors in Lord of the Rings got like the Fellowship tattoos. We're
Yeah.
gonna get TB&J tattoos on our scrotum
Yes.
or our taint.
Yes.
Yeah. That way, no one can see it ever.
Hey, Chris lives on the other side of the country now. Do we know for sure that he'll do it?
I mean, we can't prove it if he doesn't.
We'll send. He'll have to send pictures.
Yeah, he'll have to send video footage of him getting tattooed.
I think we should just go out there. Uninvited.
Yeah,
absolutely. Hey, big guy. You know what time it is?
It's scrotum time. Tattoo time.
Hope you were listening to the pod.
Totally. Yeah, we'll test
So
it.
what are you doing? No, I missed this episode. What are you talking? Doesn't matter. Your fault.
So Homelander is clearly just exercising whatever power he has over the rest of the Seven. He's constantly calling A-Train a fat fuck, and he's disgusting. And then
There's
makes
the whole A-Train sub-storyline of him trying to embrace black,
his black heritage
history,
to do
and
something.
it's so, superficial, and the guy writer with no penis because it was frozen off by a superhero.
Yep.
Mhm.
Calls him out on it, and he's like, "You don't have a dick," and like runs. It's just like he's so fucking petty. He's like, "I'm the Michael Jordan of this." Like he's just trying to say non-political,
Yeah.
and just like he's so. And his brother is trying to help him out. They're trying to bring him back, and it's like, what are they gonna do with him? What is gonna happen?
I'm not sure, but he keeps trying to pivot his career in some way because his heart problems from the last season are still very much a thing. And the doctors say if you run again, your heart might give out. He says he has the line. He says the doctors say it's like playing Russian roulette. So like he can't run ever again, or he might die. Which means that at the end of the season or the end of the show, he's gonna do a run to save somebody, and it's gonna kill him. It's gonna happen.
And that's the thing is like I'm wondering if he does have some kind of redemption arc, if he does in the end do something, because that is what they've kind of shown to some degree. He was doing it for personal reasons last season when he's like, "Hey, shitbirds."
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know what they do if they don't give him redemption, like because they could always twist it like he's made the decision to be better and then gets fucked over anyway.
Yeah,
type of
I
thing.
was thinking when you were describing the whole he runs last time to save somebody and then dies. What's more likely with this show is he like is about to run heroically. They do like the whole music swell or something like that, and Homeland like fucking crushes his head.
Yeah, Homelander just fucking murders him.
Yeah, I'm assuming he just gets ganged and schmacked.
Something
and,
like that. It's very interesting to see where it goes because A-Train seems like he's a little relatable in that he's kind of like washed up at this point and he's trying to do something with his career.
Now, interestingly, they have shown some references to a character named Blue Hawk, which is similar to a character that was in the Diabolical series. And in the
Yes.
Diabolical series, they said there was like at least 2 or 3 of them that were canon. And one of them was like Black Nubian or something like that. I don't know what the character. I think I'm mixing it up with Clerks or something like that. But they had some,
No, because the Nubian King,
Nubian
I think.
Nubian Prince or something like that.
Yeah.
And the female, they have them as a power couple type of thing, and their whole storyline. That was related to something similar to like a Blue Hawk character, or like either way. But I'm wondering if they're going to like rebrand him as something else. Like, would he take, V24, to get a different power set to see, there's a lot of, it makes sense if they're going to if he's trying to rebrand, that he rebrands totally, right? Like, what does he do? Just not do anything? Like, he doesn't really have a super speed. He doesn't do this. So if you don't have him just die, which I do think is kind of, I feel like they should get around that if they want to do anything with the character.
Yes.
Or either he dies this season, or
what?
you take him another direction, right? You
Right.
got to end this thing of he's going to die any minute now.
Because his heart just can't take running anymore, apparently.
Yeah. So I
So-
mean, I could see him doing something else to take him down that route, but yeah, we'll see. They've not surprised me so far, so we'll see.
So I see Homelander keeps exercising his petty little powers over everybody by calling A-Train a fat piece of shit, by making the Deep eat Timothy the octopus, and feeding everyone else at that dinner a bunch of seafood. and it just made the deep super
Oh,
uncomfortable.
that scene was so gross in general.
Yep.
And this is why I really don't eat seafood, man. Like, it's just so gross.
I just don't like.
You have to fight for a lot of your seafood.
Everything is gross. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, and it's hard to eat, and it's just like slimy shit.
I hate
don't
seafood.
get it. I don't get. God, that every time that scene is exactly what I see every time I see people eat that shit.
Same.
Like,
Can't
exactly.
fucking
It's all
stand
I
it.
hear. It's all I hear.
I
Good.
eat a
I'm
lot
glad
of
we're on the
seafood.
same page with this.
Yep. I can't fucking stand it.
I eat a lot of seafood.
That's fine. I'm mostly plant-based at this point in my life. I don't eat a whole lot of meat in general. But even when I did eat meat, I just could not stand seafood. The only seafood I would eat is
you
like-
don't think I'm a freak?
No. I mean, not for that reason.
Okay.
Different reasons, sure.
All right. Just making sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just glad it's not for that reason.
And then he's exercising his power over Annie by doing these petty little power moves over the co-captain shit. I don't know what he's going to do to Maeve or Black Noir.
We haven't really got a whole lot of Maeve in general this
No,
season.
Maeve was in episode 1, and then she hasn't been in 2 or 3.
Yeah, but she's been ever present in the background. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Brave Maeve's taco stand.
Brave Maeve's tacos, veggie
with
stand.
2 tacos.
Veggie tacos.
Yeah.
And then there was also like everything's commodified. Like I think my favorite was BLM BLTs. That was so fucked
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
That was so fucked up to reduce it down to a sandwich. I was like, fuck you. That
There was
so
on
good.
the Brave Maeve's taco stand. There wasn't one of the specials was systematic oppression tacos,
Oh yeah, there was.
and
some
I was
good
like,
ones.
dude, what the? They're just really just putting a fucking
Yeah.
point on it.
Yeah, there's a lot to they put some serious love into the making of the show, from down to the characterization.
Vaughtland in
to
general
everything.
was just
Vaughtland
fucking
was-
mwah.
yeah, chef's kiss.
It was so great. Oh god, and Kimiko wanted to ride the Homelander ride because she's still a tiny little kid at heart. That was like heartbreaking. Anyway,
There's also a Frenchie subplot.
yeah,
somewhere in
Frenchie has a
there.
subplot with
And I think
his
that's going
ex,
somewhere.
Cherie. Yeah,
The person
So-
she referenced that's after her or something is a player that has like a
Yeah. we meet her too in this episode. I believe it's not the same episode.
Okay.
Yeah, so Frenchie's ex, Cherie, who was in season 1, she apparently got in business with this gangster named Little Nina and misplaced 11 kilos of heroin. So Little Nina wants to murder her for obvious reasons. So Frenchie has passports either made up or stolen back for her so that she can get the fuck out of Dodge. And then Little Nina has Frenchie abducted off the street, and she's like, hey, Cherie didn't misplace that. She stole it from me because she's a fucking terrible person. Now you're going to give up Cherie's location because you are still holding a flame for me. And she's like grabbing his junk as this is happening. Apparently he and Little Nina used to fuck before he ran around with the boys. And this is weird little history apparently. But Frenchie tells Butcher about it, and he's like, great, you're going to call up Little Nina and arrange a meeting for us. And Frenchie's like, why? And Butcher's like, because we're going to Russia. Because they're going to track down where the fuck Soldier Boy went. So, field trip, everybody. Make sure your permission slips are signed.
Are slimed.
Slimed.
Nickelodeon slimed.
So, they're heading to Russia. They're going to investigate Soldier Boy and figure out some shit, I guess, on the other side of the world. Oh,
that where we end it?
and Huey had Kimiko break his arm as a convincing get out of work free card.
Yeah, that was good.
And fucking Frenchie's like, at least take some opium, man. And he was like, I can't. I got to pass a pee test. And they were like, Jesus Christ. They're all just like, dude, do you realize what you're doing? And he was like, yep, it's fine. All right, Kimiko, on the count of 3. 1, 2. And it's just like, it bent at a 90-degree angle. It was like poking through the skin a little bit. And I was like, oh.
So bad.
Oh!
At least explained how to make it like a clean break or something. So
Yeah, so it'll heal
perfectly.
perfectly.
I hate all of that.
That made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, although whatever. The knowledge of knowing it's a clean break helps out a lot. I think the worst thing I ever saw, and that was some scene of like there's a movie where people are stuck on a ski lift.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and they're like freezing to death. Like everybody left and they're stuck. Like
I think that's actually called Frozen.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was like,
it is Frozen. It is Frozen, and it's funny. But like the one guy like tries to, he's like, I can make it. It's snow down there. He goes to jump, and like the ice is hardened, and he just like crushes his, and they're like compound fractures like sticking out.
Oh,
and it's just like he's so fucked. And then there's wolves. And
oh my God.
It's like I'm like Jesus. And that is just beyond the pale for me. So, yeah.
The way you were describing that sounded like it was like a
it was a
sketch from the-
cascading. It was No, it's like it is like
Is it made to be a
SNL
horror
sketch.
movie?
It is, and I think it's the tone is horrifying, but I really hope some father rented that for their kids who wanted to see Frozen.
You wanted to see Elsa, right?
There it
This
is.
is Elsa. When did she start singing?
2010's
weird.
horror.
I guess
starring
it's like a Roger Rabbit.
Adam Green, Emma Bell, Sean Ashmore, Lamplighter. He's in that
Oh,
movie. Ooh.
relevant story.
You brought it
Ben.
back around.
Oh, and also he's in Frozen, and he was Iceman.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He was in Frozen. Oh, he was in this Frozen,
Yes.
and he was Iceman.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's probably his fault that they're there. He's probably one of the wolves.
Oh my god. I'm reading the summary. This movie is fucking horrifying.
Watch out for our Frozen review. We should do a Frozen review, but just call it Frozen, and then no indication that it's this Frozen, and then just do a whole episode on it.
Oh
We should wait for Frozen 3 to come out and then do this movie.
Oh my god. This is terrible. Oh, the guy who did that movie also did Friday the 13th the game.
This is fascinating commentary.
Yes.
But we
Yep.
should probably...
It's only tangentially related through Sean Ashmore.
So we know from the internet that episode 6 will be Herogasm. So what do you think is going to happen between now and Herogasm? We got 2 episodes to fill.
I don't.
So much
I
stuff
think
happens in each episode of this fucking show.
I can't. If
There's no
they're-
filler episodes
If
in The
they're
Boys.
yeah,
There's no
it's
filler
all
moment in The Boys.
It's all killer, no filler.
Really?
Literally. So the hero gasm is like at least the core of it that I know, like the audaciousness at the start of it. Now I don't know how the storyline officially goes throughout the rest of it, but the big centerpiece was like all those superhero events that the comics have. All the like, Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War, like all that kind of
Yep.
stuff is really just them being like, I need a vacation. We're going to go fuck everything that moves at like a private resort
Yep.
for soups. And the
Oh, yeah.
prostitutes all have to take like a V thing in order to like withstand the poundings that they're getting, and like that's where we start to get like some
Poundings. That's
that-
the verb you're using.
Yep.
All right.
I think it's accurate.
yeah,
Also,
no,
like
it is.
they did some of the termite stuff. Like was from that.
Oh my god, did you see that penis like inside that they did in episode 1? That was a practical effect.
Yeah, of course it was.
Eric Kripke had that built. It was 11 feet tall, 30 feet long.
I wonder if he has it in his house now.
He just keeps it in his backyard, and when he has people over, he's like,
why
hey, do you
would-
want to walk through this giant penis I had made?
I would have everybody take pictures there at the wedding.
Oh, I wonder if my fiance and I can borrow that when we have our wedding next year.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll get our
That's
pictures
cool.
done inside the giant urethra. She would never agree to
True
that.
love.
She would never.
Love. Okay. Well, that sounds like the end of the podcast.
Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere else to go. I'm excited to see where they go with season 3 because...
Did you get my sounding pun?
Yes, I did. I did. I taught you what sounding means.
I know. Now it's part of my lexicon.
I'm very excited to see where they go with this season because
So
it
your
seems like
question was, by the way, that like, where do we think we're going with this? I don't know how they get to Herogasm.
I don't
from
know
here
either.
because like it's like well
unless like a non sequitur.
yeah or there must be some twist at some point, like they're going to tell the storyline of them kind of like dealing with Homelander at this stage, but there must be some other maybe I could see maybe like if Homelander really starts to take control, starts to entice the other soups to be with him, and he like entices them with the Herogasm like decadence. Could be something, or if
Could
like
be.
or it could just be like in one of their pursuits for something else, they have to go to this well-known retreat thing. Like I could see that too. It's just something.
How are the boys going to infiltrate this? Because they're going to be at Herogasm, right? They have to be.
I guess it could be similar to like when they infiltrated the light festival or whatever,
Right.
or something like that. I could see something like that. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for this.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I could feel it in my urethra.
And you know that Newman is definitely going to be dead by the end of this season, right?
I'm wondering if she kills someone of note.
I'm wondering if
Like Soldier Boy. Like it seems like if you're like when they're going with the storm, like you don't want to kill Homelander at this stage. You know, it's like that thing where it's like this should all culminate. So if they are gonna do these like big characters, like maybe you get like her versus Soldier Boy, and that's how it ends. Like somebody's gonna.
I was
blow
wondering what if the end of the season is Homelander actually snapping, kills Edgar, and is like, "I'm in charge of the company now."
Yeah,
and then
I
then
see
she's
that
like,
as a strong
and she
possibility.
goes like, "Well, he killed my dad, so I'm gonna jump back on the good guys." Kinda.
She pulls an Iron Man and it's like, I don't care. He killed my mom.
Nah, I see her dying with Soldier Boy, and then them being like totally screwed. And yeah, something like him in charge, like he kills Edgar.
Speaking of he killed my mom, did you guys catch the Easter egg when Huey was at the adoption center?
Mm-hmm.
The teleporting little boy was Teddy Stillwell, Madeline's kid from season 1.
Who they said the boy was found like mysteriously 16 miles away from the blast or something like that.
He
Like,
teleported away.
Oh shit!
so the theory originally was like, I guess he didn't kill the baby and he dropped it off somewhere. Like that was weird, but like no, it sounds like it makes
I
like-
did miss that.
Yeah, that's Madeline's
Yeah.
kid at the adoption center. He can teleport. And he's the one who sells Huey out by teleporting in front of the lady and then just pointing up dramatically like a horror movie at the screen. Yeah, that's Madeline's kid, Teddy.
They did have a Spider-Man character there, and there is like a Spider-Man analog in The Boys that is apparently pretty funny, and I really don't know much about him. So
I thought it was really funny when he was talking to the adoption lady about how he and Starlight were looking to adopt, and she was like, "Oh, so glad that you have a soup as a parent. It really lowers the parent mortality rate."
He's like, "Yep."
And I'm just like, "What the fuck?"
It's funny. And she was in crutches, so she's clearly been fucked over at this point.
Yep. Oh my god, hilarious.
Well,
That was it for The Boys
is
season
it.
3, episodes 2 and 3. We already did episode 1 prior, and we'll see you guys later on this week for episode 4. And if you liked what you heard, please leave us a kind review on your favorite podcasting platform. Give us 5 stars. Do all those fun things, like and subscribe. Blah blah blah
Give
blah.
us an A+.
Thank you, Shia. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Enjoy the new season of The Boys.
bye everybody.
Have your own hero-gasms. Hero-gasm is what I call it when I jerk
Don't-
off in my Batman suit.
Don't really do anything that happens in The Boys, though. Ignore most of... Just avoid most
Don't
of
take
it.
experimental drugs that
Don't
offer
take-
superpowers.
No.
You sure?
Well, I mean, it depends on how reliable you think they are. Look, always know your
Well-
dosage, always know your limit, and always know your dealer.
Well, I do often say do your own research. That's sort of a thing that, is a staple of my lexicon. So I think...
That
Yeah,
tracks.
I think that, do your own research.
Thank you, Joe Rogan.